Happy Sunday. So today I wanted to hop in here and talk about how it is absolutely none of your responsibility to make people like you. I think one of the issues that stem from people not being confident when speaking to others or spending time with others is that they feel like they won't be liked, and so they need to kind of put on this performance to kind of make other people like them. So I get a lot of questions from my clients saying like, how do I um, be more interesting? How do I keep a conversation going? How do I keep the conversation interesting? How do I captivate the attention of other people? How do I engage better? How do I seem more interested? How do I ask better questions, right? To engage the other person who's listening to me. And I find that oftentimes when we ask this question, a lot of times the intention is to get the person who we're speaking to like us. Like, I want to change what I'm doing so that you will like me. And if you like me, then maybe I will have some kind of validity. Like, because I can't validate myself, maybe if you validate me and you like me and you accept me, then I can accept myself. Now, this is a very tricky situation that we put ourselves in. And I emphasize that we put ourselves in this place because we, like, there's no such rule in the book of life that says we actually need other people to like us. It's not in the book of rules of life. It's not necessary for you to get other people to like you and accept you to survive. Now, I understand that, you know, in our instincts, we want to be accepted, to be a part of community. We want to be a part of something. We want connections. And this is essentially for our survival. Like, I understand that. But when we go out of our way to change the way we communicate so that the purpose is not to make a deeper connection, and it's not to establish meaningful connection with the person that you're spending time with, but the core purpose, the primary purpose is to get them to like you and to have a certain impression of you, then um, that makes it really tricky because, first of all, we actually cannot control what other people think about us. We have absolutely no control, even if we shower them with compliments and we are nice to them and we treat them like a prince or princess. Like, there's no way we can actually control how they feel about us. Their perception of us remains to be their perception alone, meaning that they are the ones to perceive us. Now, we can try to perceive, like, we can try to think, we can try to guess how they feel about us, but how they actually um feel about us, we will never know. And therefore, to make them like us, that is actually quite futile because that will really get nowhere because you will never know, right? That's point number one. Point number two is you cannot actually control that. And the moment you try to control how people think and feel about you, you are stepping into the grounds of kind of manipulation. And we don't want to do that because we don't want to take essentially what's happening when we try to change other people's perspective of us instead of changing ourselves internally for ourselves, right? Is it that's an act of manipulation. We don't want to do that. We don't want to um make just try to make an impression just so people think certain things about us. That is not healthy. That is actually taking away people's freedom. That is thinking less of our audience and the people that we're speaking to, because we think that, if I one up you, if I outsmart you, if I, you know, um, do something to manipulate how you feel about me, then I can be in control of you. And that is not right, right? We don't want to be in that kind of relationship. Um, and so, how should we approach relationships? Now, what I've found to be really helpful is that um, when I can give people the freedom to choose if they want to like me. Like, so for example, I am on this YouTube live and I have no idea who's coming um, onto my video, who's listening to me. I have no idea in the great YouTube world who's going to come onto my live videos, who's going to comment on me. Maybe someone is going to say, hey, Eunice, you're really ugly. Hey, Eunice, you're really dumb. That's not within my control. I don't care about what you actually think about me. What I do care about is connecting with my message enough to be able to share it with you so that you get to decide, you as the audience get to decide if you want to continue to listen, if you want to continue to tune in, if you want to continue to, be in receptive mode to my messages. And that's totally okay. And if you don't vibe with what I share, that is totally your freedom to do so. And I want to empower you with this freedom to with letting you know that I don't try to make you like me by saying the things that you want me to say, or um, only talking about the subjects that you want me to talk about, or um, appearing or sounding a certain way that you would rather Eunice be like. Because then that would not be me. And if you liked that version of me, that is not actually who I really am. And it would actually take me a lot more effort to continue to convince you to stay in a relationship with me, right? So I found that when we try to control other people to like us, like when we try to get people, do things, you know, we try to make an impression, we try to manipulate the relationship so that people can think certain things about us. It actually is very energetically and emotionally taxing. And listen, guys, like I used to do this in my relationships. I did it as a survival mechanism. I was so afraid that, when people did not love me, they will leave me. I was afraid that if people left me, I will never be loved. I will never be accepted by other people. I would never be accepted by the world. And so, naturally, yes, I understand that there is this tendency and there's this desire to be liked, be loved by the people around you. But know that when you step into a place of empowerment and you start to feel your own power of self acceptance, the same goes to you giving power to others to decide whether if they want to stay in your world, whether if they want to build a relationship with you, whether if they care about you, whether if they choose you to stay in their lives. Guys, that is going to be so powerful because that is where the most incredible relationships come from. That is where the most truthful relationships come from, because you are building and establishing the relationship from the place of your truthfulness, right? Not of your falsehood, not of your pretending, not behind your mask, but you are building a relationship from a place of, okay, this is who I am. It is up to you if you like me. And if you don't like me, that's entirely okay, because there are a lot of people in the world and there's a lot of people on the internet. And I will totally accept that my vibe and my message is not right for you. And maybe I'm not even the right level for you. Maybe like you're a few steps ahead of me. Maybe you're a few steps behind me. Or maybe like you and I see things um completely opposite, and we don't have to see eye to eye, and I accept that and I empower you to make that decision. Now, how much more powerful will a relationship be if you get to decide that you have the freedom, that you don't have any responsibility as my audience, as the people that I'm building a relationship with? You don't have any responsibility, but just to choose based on your heart, based on what your heart is telling you, based on what your mind is telling you. Like, oh, I like this person. Oh, no, I don't like this person. Oh, I don't vibe with this person. That's entirely okay. But you get to have the freedom to choose. So I encourage you to give the same level of freedom to the people you talk to the people that you have relationships with. And this also applies. I just want to say this also applies to like close relationships, family relationships, intimate relationships. It's like there are people that we care so much about and we want them to respond to us, react to us, reply to our messages. We want them to come back. We want them to be closer. But in the end of the day, if we manipulate them, if we try to change their perception of us just so they like us more, that is manipulation. And we are essentially taking away their freedom. And there's nothing that feels more disempowering than being in a relationship where you feel like someone's taking away your freedom to choose, right? And so I just really wanted to share this message today because, first of all, relationships are very important to me. Relationships are very important to me. And I feel that when I start to see the people that I'm building the relationships with on my equal level, so I'm not smarter than you and I'm not better than you, and that we both have the freedom to choose, even if it breaks my heart that you will not choose me, that is entirely okay. That's entirely okay because I know that for what it's worth, it was real. At least I was real to myself. So maybe in another relationship, when another person comes around, or in another scenario, I will be with someone when I show up as my true self, that they will appreciate who I am. They will appreciate my essence. They will accept me just as I am. And so I think this is so amazing because this actually encourages you to be more of yourself. And while you have the freedom and liberty to be more of yourself, you also grant the power and the freedom to others who come into your life to have the freedom to choose. And that, my friends, is so powerful. Um, Someone just asked me to give them a shout out. All right. Thank you so much. Is that what you meant? Charlie? Hi. Thanks for joining my live feed. Um, yeah. Thank you so much for joining my live feed. It was really nice to be able to speak to you guys about this. I care so much about this message. And I really care about the people who are tuning in, the people who are taking their time to listen, to reply to my and respond to my messages, to share what they think about the videos that I'm sharing, because a lot of these things that I'm sharing are ideas that I've had. These are conversations that I've been having with my clients, and I think that it's a really valuable space for me to just put it out here so that more of you guys can enjoy this goodness. So anyway, happy Sunday, and I'll be seeing you guys soon.